What is the most important Christian prayer? The answer to this question is known to everyone. It is the Lord's Prayer or the Our Father prayer. In today's Gospel reading, St. Luke writes the request of the disciples to Jesus. Lord, teach us to pray just as John taught his disciples. The disciples noticed that prayer was an essential part of the daily life of Jesus. St. Mark writes, rising very early before dawn, he left and went off to a deserted place where he prayed. He received so much spiritual strength because of his prayer life. They also wanted to have spiritual strength like Jesus and asked him to teach them to pray. As a result, Jesus taught them this beautiful prayer. Jesus is also the teacher and master who knows everything. In the Indian culture, the word to designate a teacher is guru. This Sanskrit word has a rich meaning. The guru is the one who dispels the darkness from the life of the student by leading him towards the light. He helps the student to come out of ignorance through his wisdom. A guru is also a spiritual guide who helps the student to discover the same potentialities that the guru has already realized. Jesus is the greatest of all teachers and teaches us through his example of life. As Christians, we are called to imitate Christ in our prayer life. We also need to teach our younger ones through our examples. We should ask these questions. Do we pray regularly? Do we teach our children to pray to God daily? Lord's Prayer contains everything we need to ask God. We all have learned this prayer as children, and this prayer is part of our life until our last breath. In this prayer, we request God to help us to meet our spiritual as well as material needs. Every time we recite this prayer, we join ourselves with everyone around the world who pray. The Lord's Prayer is teaching us the right way to live. It describes what kind of relationship we should have with God and with our fellow human beings. This prayer invites us to surrender our life to God. When we recite this prayer several times every day, we experience the special love we have for God. The famous Russian writer Leo Tolstoy, in a beautiful story, Three Hermits, describes the remarkable prayer life of three monks. They lived on a lonely island near the ocean. They were visited by a bishop of a passing ship. While talking to them, the bishop realized that they only knew and recited a simple prayer. God, you are three and we are three, have mercy upon us. The bishop spent the whole night teaching them the doctrines of the church and the important prayers before returning to the ship in the morning. That night, the ship crew noticed someone approaching the ship running over the water. Those were the monks from the small island. They ran to the deck of the ship in an instant and apologized to the bishop for forgetting the prayer. They requested the bishop to teach them the prayer one more time. The bishop bowed down before them, asking them to pray for him, realizing that they are holy men of God. The simple prayers and the humble lives of the hermits were enough to carry them to God's presence. In the same way, we can achieve great holiness by faithfully living our lives before God. If we are faithful in our relationship with God, He will help us to fulfill our responsibilities in life. Let us recite the prayer taught by Jesus by abandoning our pride and accepting our dependence on God. Let us ask Jesus that He may bless us to have a personal and intimate relationship with God through our prayer life.